Hello and welcome to day 5 of the 15-day scrapbooking vlog challenge. Today's challenge was to create some creative way of mailing photos to someone, whether it's decorating an envelope or doing like I did and creating almost like a little mini portfolio or pocket folder to mail your photos in. So here I'm going through and showing you the supplies that I've picked. I've got some craft cardstock. I have this amazing pineapple embossing folder from Pink Paisley in the Citrus Bliss collection. And I'm going to be folding my paper. I cut it at 9 inches across and then 8 inches. And then I will be folding it up on the bottom or scoring it at 6 inches to create the pocket part for the photos to sit in. And then I also scored it in half so that I had a way to fold it in half. And I was creating 2 of these. I had some family photos that I was long overdue sending to my mom and my mother-in-law. So I'm creating one for each of them. And so here you see me just assembling the actual portfolio, if that's what you want to call it, or pocket folder, the foundation of what I will be creating. And I didn't score it exactly correctly, so I had to trim off a little bit, but it didn't affect the function of the folder, so it wasn't a huge deal. So the next thing that I wanted to do was I am in love with this pineapple theme that's going on lately, and so I used my Big Shot and my embossing folder, and the embossing folder was the perfect size. It didn't exactly cover every part of the cover, but I wasn't too concerned about that because I knew that I would be embellishing the front and I could cover up anything that it didn't emboss. So I just run that through, and I have it open to tab 1, and actually I think I will, to tab 1. And I sandwich it between my cutting plates, and then I just run it through. And it was a little hard. I don't know if it's because I had the full folder in there, so it was like the thickness of the paper was two pages together, but it went through, and it didn't crack the paper, crease the paper, anything like that. And so I just quickly run both of those through, and then I am done with the embossing, and it turned out great. I love the detail, and I'll show you here in just a second what that looks like. There you go. So my next thought, which was a huge epic fail, I thought that I could run my Versamark ink pad just over the raised spots and then add some gold embossing powder over top, and it would just kind of give it like I didn't want the pineapples to be solid gold, I just wanted to have a touch of gold to it. But what happened was whenever I ran my Versamark ink pad over it, you'll see whenever I add the embossing powder, which is what I'm looking for right now. I couldn't find it anywhere, but it was just a hot mess. So I tried to save it by brushing off as much as I could and then using a brush to get around some of the pineapples, but I just ended up taking a towel and wiping it all off. It wasn't salvageable. And it turned out fine. I mean, there wasn't any remnants of the Versamark on it on the final project, so it was fine. I think what I could have done is actually put the embossing or the Versamark on the embossing folder, which I've done before, and that probably would have worked a lot better, but it's okay. I like how it turned out. Now I have these 4x6 Project Life cards that came in a kit that I don't even remember what it was from. But I thought that those would be a great place for me to add journaling in the middle. So what I'm doing right now is I'm over at my sewing machine, and I am trying to sew it down. And of course, anytime that I'm on a time crunch or trying to get things accomplished quickly, it never works. So I think my thread broke, and then my bobbin ran out, and something else. It was just like anything that could have went wrong with my sewing machine went wrong, and so I just went with it. And I eventually got it all fixed, and I just turned off the recording and turned it back on once I was able to get it, which is what you see now, once I got it sewed down. But yeah, it created the perfect little spot for the journaling. And here I'm just showing you how you can tuck in the photos. there was enough space on either side, and I sewed down the sides of those pockets too so the photos would stay secure. So now it was time to embellish the front. I knew that I wanted to use a doily because I have a ton of doilies in my stash that I'm trying to use up. And I had this beautiful gold one, which brought in the gold to the cover that I wasn't able to bring in through the embossing powder. So I stuck that down, and I used my ATG, but then I also came in with my Tombow Mono and used it on some of the smaller pieces. And this makes me, realize again, one, how much I hate the way it feels in my fingers, and two, that I need to find the correct fine line so that I can put, if you've watched my other videos, you know that I can't find the right tip for what I need, and I haven't looked crazy hard, so it's not like, I've exhausted all options, but I just need to find a solution because I can't stand getting that stuff on my fingers. So I used just some texture paste, a bottle, to hold that down so it would dry. And now I'm moving on to the embellishing part. I grabbed that Dear Lizzie sticker book again, and I have this tag from, I don't remember what the collection is. It was an old one from last year. And I stick that down, and then I use the Something Splendid sticker. I had these gold labels, and I think these are from the Allie Edwards Week in a Life kit, or December Daily maybe. I don't remember. But I write Happy Mail on there with my Copic multiliner pen. It was a 0.5 size. And then I just write some journaling to my mom, and I wanted to keep that private, so I kept that part out. But I add some washi tape to the bottom to kind of finalize that. And then I stick my pictures in the pockets and put it into the envelope, and that is done. And while I'm skipping on to the next part, I did talk with my mail lady, and I just used 3 regular stamps, and I hope that that was enough. So if not, it'll just get sent back and I can try again, but she thought that that would work, so we'll see. Now for the second one, I have some, the collection that all those die cuts are coming from is like on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot think of what it is. So if you know, tell me so that I can feel like I'm not losing my mind. But anyway, I used the leftover part of that one ticket that I cut off. I used the 15-cent thing. I was just going for springy, fun colors that would coordinate well with the craft and the pineapples. So I guess summery colors, not really spring. And then I went and sewed down that second journaling card. And at this point, I thought that I was afraid that writing on the front and then that being pressed against the pictures might bleed onto the photos. So for this one, I opted to put stickers on the front and then journal on the inside. And that worked out much better. And I'm just sticking the photos in and calling that one done as well. So I hope this gives you some ideas. Oh, I do go back in and add some twine just to kind of seal it up. But I hope that this gives you some ideas for how to mail people photos in a creative way instead of just sticking them in an envelope, which is what I usually do, or waiting till I see them and handing them to them. I had a lot of fun creating these, and I think that this is definitely going to be something that I can do in the future very easily. It only took me about half an hour to do both of them, and that was coming up with the design as well. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow for day 6 of our 15-day challenge. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.